Fun news if you're running insider builds on the Xbox.
Mm.
It's apparently factory resetting these things. Or it's deleting the primary profile, one of the two.
Yeah,
Either way, it's not great.
I was
So,
gonna say it's a similar effect.
yeah, I mean, and it realistically is. Like, if you delete the primary profile, it's...
I mean, at least it's not time consuming or difficult to download your games again. So
Other than the fact that if one of them's Call of Duty, it's
that's
380 gigs.
yeah, that's what I meant actually. It's like that's not good.
Yeah. So, but, I mean, it's insider build, so it's like... They haven't had many of these, but here they are.
Yeah. Well, they deleted all my what do you call it? Recall snapshots that I was never using for anything. So that was a
I
huge inconvenience.
I keep waiting for somebody to write about like how Recall has just really transformed the PC experience. But
I did write about it yesterday, but
did
it's
you?
not in the positive way that
Oh,
you think. Yeah, you probably didn't notice it because the title had nothing to do with Microsoft or Windows or or Recall. It says, where is this thing? For
is it?
the love of God, Microsoft.
Oh, well, yeah. I can tell you
Which
I have
is
not clicked
just
that one.
yeah, but that's yeah. So you're forgiven for not knowing that's what it was. But yeah, the problem there is could you make the user experience actually make sense? I mean, just a thought, but no, they're not super interested in that kind of stuff, man. It's just
Small startup. They've got other things to focus on.
they mean well.
Actually,
No,
not really, but whatever.
no, they don't. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so whatever. Excuse me. Anyway,
Yeah. Well, we kind of completely glossed over this because we actually had a real podcast yesterday talking about AI use cases.
yeah,
So
I know
Apple's...
what happened.
I know.
Did
That
we
was very...
apologize for that? I
We
feel weird.
should probably just delete that one. Apple announced a bunch of stuff. I'm super happy, by the way. Very happy about this. Extremely over the moon. Couldn't wait to share this news with my wife.
Mhm,
So they revved the iPad Air, which I just got one in July. But
mhm.
more importantly, they revved the $180 or whatever it was stupid case with a keyboard that I bought to
Yes,
include an escape key, which
right.
mine does not have.
So I very specifically did not buy Apple's keyboard thingamajiggy for my probably identical iPad Air to yours, except I have probably the bigger one. But because they never updated the keyboard for it. They updated the keyboard for the Pro.
Hmm.
Why wouldn't it be the same keyboard? It doesn't make any sense to me. But okay, fine. So now a year later they have. So I guess that's something I would think about. But man, these things are expensive, and
Yeah. And I've got one
yeah,
upstairs that I've barely
I'm
used
sure
because...
you can just trade it in for full resale value.
Yeah, I'm sure they would...
No, I just didn't. There was something I don't remember the details anymore. You're probably intimately aware of them, but like there were just a couple of things about that because it was the older design keyboard,
Hmm.
and they'd kind of they'd revved it across the board otherwise, and it was like why I don't know. My
So
Apple's
whatever.
weird. Why would they rev the base iPad and not give it the one little chip bump that would get it to Apple Intelligence? Like what are they doing?
Wait, what? Well, you went a different direction than I was thinking.
Well, this is another thing. So the base iPad was also revved very quietly.
Oh. Yeah. No, I thought you were talking about the Air. It's like my
No, the
Air
Air
has
does. Yes, the Air
the
does.
useful, very extremely useful Apple Intelligence. That very useful. About as useful as a keyboard without an escape key.
Brad, I don't know if you pay attention to everything that Tim Cook says, but he says that this is why people upgrade to the latest iPhone. I know. And he didn't even burst out laughing after he said
Was the
it.
board of directors holding a gun to his head, like off screen? Like,
I told you this, right? We were up in the middle of frickin' nowhere the other day, and none of our cell phones worked. Like we're up in the mountains somewhere. And I was like, I said something and Siri popped up, and I was like, man, if you thought Siri was
oh yeah.
freaking stupid with an internet connection, like, can you imagine what it's like? Oh God. Anyway.
Yep. And then they did the MacBook Air yesterday, which I'm still surprised they haven't done what they've done with the Mac, where they have all the fun colors or whatever. Because they came out with like
Yeah. Well, do you mean
The
that
blue.
Surface laptop color they came out
Yeah,
with?
which, yes.
It's like, I mean, no
Did they
one's
just
gonna
walk to
comment
the
on that.
factory next door and be like, yeah,
What's
we'll
what
have
I'm
some of
saying,
that? Like,
right? I mean, it's the same, right? Can we agree it's the same? I mean, can we agree they copied it? Nothing? No? Okay. It's not a big deal. Just think it's the same. That's
yeah,
all. I
like
think it
what?
looks nice. It looks nice on it. I would
It's
have gotten
fine.
it on my Surface, but they don't offer it in that either that screen size or just the configuration I was getting. I don't really,
Yeah.
who cares? But yeah, I think it looks nice.
Yep.
Personally.
I'm just curious if they're ever going to do the whole iMac thing where they have the pink and the yellows and bring back
Yeah,
color, make it fun again or something.
I
I don't
don't.
know.
Yeah. I mean, well, they do it on the iPhone, right? They do it on well, they do it on some iPads. The base iPad,
Mm-hmm.
right? Does colors, not many, but some. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't know.
Maybe they need a MacBook with an unapologetically whatever crap body material, whatever it is. I don't know.
They did lower the price. Is it 16 gigs of RAM? I forgot to look. It's got to be. It better
It is.
be.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
999 by the way for that thing. 16 gig. What's the storage? Probably 512.
probably 256.
I
I
was
bet.
gonna say it's Apple. Yeah, it's 256. So, but still 999. It's a good. It's a nice laptop.
Hold on.
With an
We're
M4.
looking here. Pre-order, also known as just ordering.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no.
I'd like to get in line for my pre-order. Got to be right though. It's
Where's the storage? I don't care about the 12 megapixel center stage camera. Nobody does.
wow. What I do care is that it doesn't do Face ID, but whatever.
No, it doesn't. That's even better. That's grand.
Yeah, they have a little button.
Comes with 16 gigs of unified memory. $200 to get a 24 gigs, whatever. Yeah, 256. And if you want 256 more storage, you're 200 in. So
yeah, but still, I mean, I don't know. This is a good. That's a good configuration, I think, for a lot of people, anyway.
yeah, they also rev the Mac Studio with an M3 chip, which was a little
Yeah.
whatever, but
Well, yeah. I guess the
M3
commentary
Ultra.
there is they're not doing an Ultra on every generation of the M series chip, so there might not be one for the M4.
Well, at least they're consistent, I guess. I don't know.
Consistent. I mean, they keep you guessing, At least it didn't come with a lightning port.
Ooh.
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, they still should have called it the Big Mac, but there's licensing issues with that.
Yep.
But whatever. I don't know. I mean,
I don't get how expensive those are. Doesn't it start at like $2,000 for a Mac Studio?
yeah, they're not cheap.
Yeah, I don't quite
Let's
get
see.
that.
I
But
know you can, if you max it out, it's 14 grand without a keyboard.
yeesh. No, I'm sure there's some scale of pricing where they made it make sense with a Mac Mini or something, but I don't know. It just seems
It's
weird.
2 grand to get the base model,
Just for a
which
base model, yeah.
isn't terribly price compared when you compare to like the Mac Mini, which is exactly it, right?
Yeah, no, of course.
Okay, so if you max out, I'm sure they've done this. We'll do it live.
Oh my God. We literally spend half of our days doing this, when there's new stuff.
Let's just browse the internet while we talk about it.
And while we talk about some of it.
We are agents throughout.
You're like, I'm literally buying something on Amazon right now. I'll just be a second.
So if you get does it come with 5?
What are you looking for?
I was comparing it to like the high end Mac Mini Pro, which is like 15.
So, but the Mac Mini is an M4, right? So
yeah, it's M4 Pro, which
I mean that's but again, not to keep saying this, but I mean for most people, like or whatever, for most needs, I mean most people don't need a desktop computer. I guess. I mean, what are we even talking about here?
The one thing that Mac Studio would be very good for actually is AI stuff because of the unified memory, and you can really crank that up for running local models for all 6 people who are needing to run the full unquantized versions of these things. I think that's.
I'm still trying to figure out a use case for that. By the way, like that. So I should tell. So yesterday you mentioned this cursor thing, right? So I tried to do this yesterday. I didn't have time because yesterday I did Windows Weekly, but this is I don't even know how to describe this thing, right? So it's a Visual Studio Code based.
Oh, you're talking about Cursor?
Cursor, yep.
Yeah.
AI editor, right? So it's familiar in one sense because I'm used to Visual Studio Code, but then it's its own thing too, and it's like not even clear what the I mean I can run local models in Visual Studio Code. Like why whatever. There's an AI toolkit. It works fine. I don't whatever. Anyway, so but I got this thing, and after we talked, I went and downloaded it. By the way, native ARM version, nice. I loaded one of the things I was looking around. I'm like, well, what can I do with this that's a little bit unique, right? So you can load a code base from a GitHub repository, and you had mentioned my app.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that with that app, which is the old version, like to me, because I'm working on the next version, but it's the one that's out on GitHub. And it's I selected like a method, and I just wanted to do an analysis of it. Like I think I wrote something very basic, like, could you make this more efficient or something to that nature? And it ran against the entire project. And it came up with this to-do list that was actually rather incredible. And I have to say, I'm vaguely happy with myself that at least a few of the items were things I had corrected already for the coming version. And it wrote this little thing about being more modular and whatever. And I was like, that's amazing. I actually did that work as well. Like part of this coming version is an even more modular. It's not an MVVM pattern or whatever, but it's still like a more modular thing. And I was like, wow, that's actually kind of cool. So sometime today I'll have an article. It's not just about that, because I've also used GitHub Copilot and then just standalone AI tools to help with some coding stuff. Yeah, it's an interest. And I think, like you said, it's cloud by default, and I think it's 3.5, not 3.7 or whatever.
Yeah.
But then you can switch between those and some open AI models, and it's free to some degree. Like at some point, if you use it too much, you'll have to pay for it. But this stuff, I first of all never heard of this tool. Speaking of tools, you've probably never heard of maybe either.
I thought you were going to say my name, and I was like, okay, well, that's fair.
We've heard of that tool. Leo mentioned yesterday something called Zen Browser. Go look this up. It's based on Firefox, but it's Arc. And I know what I just said sounds crazy, but Arc is moving on to something new. And if you like Arc and like that design, this is something to look at. I've never heard of this thing. So yesterday I heard about two new things that I've never heard of in my life. I don't know how you felt about Arc or whatever, but if you like it, this is something to look at, because they're going to keep going with it, and it's based on, Gecko and Firefox, not on Chromium. Yeah. Interesting. Anyway, this thing you found, it's interesting. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Like, I don't know or would I do anything with it? Like, do I use this instead of Visual Studio Code? And if so, why? Like, I'm trying to figure that out, but yeah, it's interesting. You're a new tool.